So I just picked up this Honda CRF450R. I just paid $500 for it, and well, it doesn't run. Apparently it was somebody, I think, rebuilt the top end and they messed up the timing on it or something. So I'm gonna try to get this thing running. The bike came with basically everything I needed to get it back together. I've got the gas tank, the seat, came with an extra carburetor. I've got the climber manual for it. So this is definitely gonna come in handy. And it came with a box of shims, which is a good deal. And yeah, I want to see if I can get this thing running. I didn't realize when I picked it up, I didn't notice this until after, but there is a dent in the frame, and it looks like it, or not the frame, the rim here, and it looks like it's cracked right here, which kind of sucks, or actually what really sucks. I'm gonna have to order a new rim for it at the very least. I don't think you can repair these. I won't even want to repair it. I think I'm just gonna buy a new one, but everything else seems pretty solid on it. Frame solid, subframe, brakes work. The throttle works. It needs new head bearings, but nothing crazy. There's this patch here for the radiator, but it does hold coolant. I popped the cap and there is coolant in it, so I know that this probably doesn't leak. I'll probably eventually swap the radiator on it, but I just want to see if I can get it running. I've kicked it over, so I know it kicks over. This thing is hard to kick over, so I know it's got compression, which is good. But so this is, I've never worked on a motor like this on these types of bikes. This is the Unicam. Pretty neat. You can see that's just one camshaft, and it operates exhaust valves and the intake valve simultaneously, which is pretty neat. So yeah, just this one lobe. So yeah, first thing I'm gonna do is check the timing on it, because like I said, apparently somebody messed up the timing on it. So I'm gonna see about that, and yeah, we'll go from there. So I got the manual, so let's do chapter 5. That's the engine for the CRF450R. So chapter 5, this is it right here. Let's go to, so we're looking for timing, engine timing. Where are you? So I found the part where it tells me how to check the timing. So it says, turn the crankshaft clockwise and align the TDC mark on the flywheel. So I think, yeah, so that's figure 30. So A and B have to align, and then you're going to check the index line on the cam sprocket, which is here, and that's going to align with the triangular mark on the cam holder. So where is all these? Oh, so it's going to have to be on the other side. So we got to pull, that's going to be on the other side here. So we're going to have to pull this off and see if if the timing is right. So let's do that quick. Pull this peephole out. Alright, so we're looking for A. Where are you, A? I'm gonna have to pull the other side out to get to the crankshaft sensor. Alright, so let's pull this out here. So I have to use this 8mm wrench, Allen wrench here, to turn the crank. So I'm turning this, and I'm looking for my top dead center mark, which is gonna be on the other side of the motor. So let's see if we can even crank this thing. Man, that does not sound good. Jesus, what is that sound? That does not sound good. What is that sound? Do you hear that? Jesus. Oh my God. Interesting. I think that this motor is fucked. I mean, listen to the state of that, eh? That's so bad. Jesus Christ. Alright, let's see if we can see if this thing is timed or not. Alright, I'm gonna try to time and see if this thing times. If it's in time, I'll see what's up. So I timed the motor, and well, according to these lines on the crankshaft, because you have to line the crank at top dead center, which it's at now. According to the camshafts, it's in time. That's what it's saying. It's saying that, because you see there's this triangle here. There's a triangle on this cam tower, and there's a line on the camshaft sprocket here, and well, it says that it's in time. But what my buddy told me, the one who sold it to me, said that apparently the guy fucked the timing up, and then they went back and fixed the timing on it, and this is what it looks like. So that sound, that crazy sound that I'm hearing is probably the fact that they fucked the timing up in the first place, and now it's fucked. Because that does not sound good. A motor should not sound like that when it's turning over. This thing turning over and sounding like that is very bad. It's metal on metal, like something has got to be wrong with it. I don't even think, so I have a couple of options at this point. I either pull the head off and see what it looks like inside, like see if the valves are dented or something, because that does not sound good. Or, I don't know, I really don't know. Because if I pull this head off, yeah, I don't know. What a bummer. A motor definitely should not sound like that. Like, listen to this, it's bad. Listen to that. When does a motor ever sound like that? And it gets like really hard to turn. So yeah, something is seriously messed up in this motor. Very unfortunate. Maybe I should pull the head off. I don't know. I just don't even know if it's worth my time at this point, because if I pull the top end off this thing, then I'm like committed to rebuilding the motor. I really don't know. I mean, I might as well rebuild it. I might as well at least pull the head off and see what the problem actually is. You know, maybe it's something simple. So I guess that's what I'll do. I'll pull the head off. So let's do that. Fuck it. First things first, let's get the, that is not the right size. We're gonna pull the exhaust off. So let's do that. Fucking hell, man. Boom. Got the exhaust off. Set that to the side. Now we gotta pull this nut off. It's like a 14 mil. Yep. Alright, let's pull this out. Let's pull the head off. Let's figure out how to do that. I think we're gonna have to pull cam sprocket off by the sounds of it. So let's do that. So you have to pull the sprocket off these, I believe, in order to pull the cams off. Oh, nice and loose. What do you know? That's crazy. At least we're gonna run through it and make sure it's sound. All right, we gotta rotate the cam now, or the crank rather, so we can get to that other cam bolt. Boom. Sprocket's off. Alright, now it's time to pull the carburetor. Damn, that's a big carb. I guess it's a big motor. Alright, looks like we have to pull this air box off. So I finally got the fucking air box out. It took me like 5 hours. Alright, now we should be able to pull the carb out like that. At least let it dangle there for a little bit. Okay, now we can pull the cams off. Alright, that comes off. Look at that, that was nice and loose. But distinct indicators that whoever put this thing back together didn't really know what they were doing. And so now I'm paying the price of said mechanics issues. You know, I was really hoping this thing wasn't going to be a big project, but here we are. All right, let's pull this cam tower off. Come here, buddy. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at all those metal shavings. That's a good sign. No, we pulled the tappets right off. There wasn't even any valve shims in there. What the fuck? That's wild. So far, not so good. We've got stripped valve, or we've got valve shims that looks like they bounced out of their respective homes. And well, we have a lot of metal at the top, which is, quite frankly, never a good sign. Okay, so we have to loosen these 8 mil bolts here. So let's get these off. Boom. Okay, let's drain the coolant really quick. Alright, let's pull this freaking head off. Grab our nuts, because these you do not want falling into the motor. Moment of truth. Let's see how this thing comes off. Well, it doesn't look bad. So let's set the head to the side right now. Head gasket doesn't look too bad. That's good. Well, it looks like water damage, maybe? I don't know. So it looks like there's freaking like sawdust and like rocks and things in there, which is not a good sign. Well, at least I don't need a whole new top end. That's what I was worried about. I was worried that I was gonna have to buy all new, you know, parts, like a new cylinder and stuff like that. But the cylinder looks fine. This is in a clock. Peculiar, extremely peculiar. Let's see if it rotates any easier. Ow. Oh yeah, the fucking cam chain. Can't forget about that. Okay, so I'm gonna hold the cam chain up so this thing can rotate. I think there's just, maybe it's the piston rings, eh? So the more I listen to it, the more it sounds like it's like piston on cylinder, which isn't necessarily a good thing. None of this is a good thing. Should we pull the cylinder out? Come here, cylinder man. Yeah, the cylinder seems pretty seized on there. Maybe that's our problem. Let's try pulling the cylinder. Fuck, we've gone this far. Pull this placement bolt out here. Yeah, so this head gasket looks new. I don't think it's ever been heat cycled, which you know what that means. Reuse time. Alrighty, so we got the placement thing off. Alright, let's pull this fucking cylinder. Yeah, that piston's like seized on there. It shouldn't be this hard to pull a piston off. I gotta pull this off real quick. What is that, 12 mil? Cylinder's like fucking seized on there, man. Jesus. Yeah, look at that. Whew. So we got the cylinder off. Still got cross hatches in it. Okay, so here we are. This is the problem. This cylinder, or these pistons, this piston has a problem. And that is that these rings, the piston rings, are seized to the piston. So if you look, the oil ring is not free, and nor is the compression ring. So my guess is that it kind of looks like there was coolant in it or something. Like if you look, it's kind of got coolanty like features, as if either the head gasket was leaking or something of that nature, and it caused these rings to rust, because the piston is aluminum. Aluminum doesn't rust. The rings are steel, and you can see that they rusted and now they're stuck inside the piston. So is what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this piston off, and I think I'm going to let it soak in penetrating oil and probably just regular oil, like diesel fuel maybe as well. Just going to let it soak overnight and try to free these rings without having to like use force, because the minute you scratch these things, they're shot. And I really would like to refrain from replacing these rings by new rings. I'd rather just reuse them, because my goal ultimately is to just basically flip this bike. So yeah, I'm going to do that. Pull this piston off. Should be able to do that pretty easily here. Pull the wrist pins out. Wrist pin, should I say. So there's a wrist pin. Let's see if this wrist pin will just come out. Maybe from the other side. Alright, let's try pressing it out. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, even if you don't want to have to do it. You know? There we go. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do. Okay, so I'm gonna let this piston soak overnight in penetrating oil, and tomorrow I'm gonna try to actually get it running. I think I'm gonna reuse the head gasket. So for now, I'm going to let this soak, like I said, and organize these parts so I can get this thing running tomorrow. So stay tuned for part 2, where I'm gonna hopefully get this thing to turn over. My buddy, this might be taboo as well, but my buddy's gonna weld this rim. You can see how it's cracked here, so I'm gonna get that welded. Probably shouldn't be doing that, but fuck it, life is short. Get that welded, get this cylinder back on after we free that piston up, and fucking call it a day. So stay tuned.